Christopher, can you hear me? Thank you.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. We'll get started in a few minutes. Okay, so we're going to get started. So our agenda is going to be a little bit different this time around. We're going to go over vision, mission, and core values. We're going to do Q&A first, and then we're going to do financial update, economic update, marketing update, and then we have a development job transfer to announce, and then we're going to close it off with employee financial benefit update. Okay, so we're going to get started with our Q&A. So if I could have ELT come up. Oh. I wonder. So let's get started with our core values. Can I have a volunteer for our mission, our vision? Anybody? Let me pick somebody. Okay. Let's see. Vitaly, can you do our vision?
To improve our members' lives by providing convenient member-focused solution through rewarding effortless experience.
Now I'm going to pick somebody to do our mission. Let's see. Let's see. Scott, can you do our mission?
Delivering meaningful financial solutions tailored to our members' needs.
Awesome. Thank you. Then I'm going to have Linda do our core values.
Performance. We are member focused and results driven. Accountability. We do what we say. Integrity. We do the right thing. Innovation. We are creative, resourceful, and collaborative. And respect. We are professional and compassionate.
Thank you. Now I'm going to have ELT come. We just want to see you guys. We haven't seen you guys in a while.
Hello, can you hear me? Good morning, guys. I have the pleasure of helping answer the questions. Are you going to read the questions and we just answer? Go ahead and read it. Okay, I can get like from this.
Okay. So one of the submissions was that for the annual meeting, we had a member bring up a very important and factual comment. She said, in every local event, Connecta has always been there, and she has never seen Sky One. Previously, it was indicated that our focus would be the organic growth, and we were going to target certain personas, which have not been the case. Sky One has slowly shifted away from the seg groups that were the roots of Sky One. And we have slowly lost our identity and connection to how the credit union began. In our 13 high trust behaviors, we talk about extending trust, keeping commitments and active listening, and showing loyalty. Are we contradicting ourselves by not engaged in our local community? How will this continue to be loyal to, how will they continue to be loyal to us if we are not loyal to them? So one of the first questions that came up was, would you please explain why has the focus shifted away from local events and from the segs where Sky One began? And what will you do differently in Texas to avoid losing that connection with that community?
Good morning again. Wow. This was a very, very elaborated series of questions that we received from this one team member. So thank you for asking us that, especially in behalf of those that were not here for the annual meeting. So I'm going to try and break it down, my answer, so we understand the why and what we're doing. So why DFW? DFW is a new market area that has a ton of opportunity for expansion. According to the local agencies, more than 2/3 of the entire population of Texas live now in one of the 4 metro areas. Just to, again, add more color to the answer, in the last 3 years, the Fort Worth area has seen a huge increase in residents moving into the area, specifically in Louisville. In the last 5 years, the residential growth has been about 21%. So why is that important to us? Because we are going to be at the right place at the right time, right? We are there. All these new residents, they need services. They need financial services, and we are ready to serve them in that area. But we also believe in the power of and. So we continue to be extremely strong partners for our legacy members and legacy segs. We are definitely interacting with them differently than we have done in the past. We have been a lot more intentional with the partnerships on events and sponsorships that we've been asked to, because we believe that there has to be a win-win for both organizations. Just to illustrate how strong our partnerships continue to be with them, just yesterday we had a call with the NATCA South National Organizing Committee, and we were elaborating on how we're going to bring on board 48 new locations. So our partnerships continue to be extremely strong, and we're doing exactly the same. We're taking the same approach in building relationships in the DFW area. Hopefully that answers the question. Next question.
Question number 2. Sky One is now 1 billion. What's next? This is a question that was asked in the annual meeting last month, and many feel that it was not answered or left us wondering.
So Donnie's going to have that. Donnie?
Yeah, Scott and I'll take that one together, and hopefully having some bad weather here, so hopefully there's not too much of a delay on the audio. So are you guys able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So first, I don't know if I would say it was unanswered. You know, as we look forward, you know, I answered a couple ways. What's next? 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, 10 billion. That being said, though, along with input and help from ELT, the board sets our strategic direction and really what's next. So I'm certain there will be a new BHAG. It's not yet been finalized, and you know, as a reminder, we're well ahead of the pace that was set to reach this mark, right? It's a big mark, and we've hit it. And I think some of the things we'll talk about today and some of the answers to the other questions submitted will answer what's next and what's going forward for us in terms of, you know, not just our asset size, but who we want to be. And that's the important thing. So Scott, if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing to add is, yeah, we're always going to adjust, right? How we do things and, make sure that we continue to be successful. And yeah, there are some ratios that, hey, we got to work on. Nothing's perfect. So to your point, I mean, the next thing is 2 billion, right? And so how do we get there in a safe and sound manner financially, and how do we do it in a way that really benefits our members and we have that value exchange back to the organization?
Thank you. Third question.
How much of the billion was organic and how much was not organic? Can each of the ELT team members explain what they will each do next for their own division, and how will this change improve their departments and contributions to overall growth of the organization?
So we're actually going to give back to Donnie and Scott.
Yeah. And I'll
Yep,
take
so
that
we'll-
first.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah. And so I have one question to the team, everybody, is how do we grow assets? Anybody? You put in the chat if you want. How do we grow assets?
They
Or
answer
deposits.
Deposits, right? Yes, deposits. And so I'll tell you right now, organic deposits were 64.11% of total deposits, right? But I don't want people to get caught up in organic versus non-organic, because they all add up to total assets, right? And if we look back in 2005, there are 8,700 credit unions with total assets of $679 million. That's like, $billion, right? So average assets was about $78 million per credit union, right? In 2023, there are 4,604 credit unions left with total assets of $2.26 trillion, with average assets that it's about $490 million. So you could see the growth of the credit unions, right? But there's less credit unions. And what's happening is, the larger credit unions are swallowing up smaller credit unions. So that to me is also not organic growth, right? We're growing because we're consolidating. So that means we have to grow too, right? In different ways, right? To continue to survive. And so there are different paths to growth, right? And success. And so we're always going to make adjustments, right? Just to make sure that we're here for another 75 years, right? And I know I'm talking a little bit too much, but I just want to kind of level set about, hey, where are we with, when we think about the money flows, right? When we lend money to a borrower, our member, they go buy that car, right? Maybe the salesman gets a bonus because they hit their quota at the end of the quarter. They go out, they go to dinner, maybe they give an extra tip to that server, right? And guess what? That server might be a member of our credit union, of Sky One, and they're going to deposit that money in our credit union, right? And so that flow of money, right? The more we're involved in those types of interactions, that's going to help us grow and continue to serve our members and the community around us, right? So just kind of wanted to level set that. Like, we are improving members' lives, right? Sorry.
And I'll be brief in addition to Scott's answer as we think about organic, non-organic, those words, that terminology. Really the focus on is our member. Are we improving the lives of our members? Scott mentioned it, right? And if we relied solely on organic, I'm not sure we'd be able to deliver on that right now. Just being transparent and candid with everyone as an organization. The world's changed, right? We can't rely on traditional methods. We can't look at deposit gathering and lending in the same way that we did even 5 years ago, and certainly not 10 or 15 years ago. So the word non-organic, it feels like that's used in a context that's maybe less loyal to our members. Really, it's a different way to serve our members and a different way to deliver on what our members need. So I don't want us to think about non-organic as this this bad thing. It's an alternative strategy for us, and it's something that we have to employ, but it's not more important than organic. As Scott mentioned, still the vast majority of our deposits are organic, and the vast majority of our initiatives are organic. But we're not going to rely solely on that, because we reserve the right to be smarter, right? And if we don't evolve as an organization and think less about who we were and where we are, and think more about where do we want to be, where do we need to be, and who do we want to be. I think that's the mindset we need to have. If you don't believe it, ask Blockbuster. Well, actually, you can't ask Blockbuster. Maybe ask Netflix. That might be a better place. So.
Earlier this year, ELT decided to bring in the staff 3 times a week for non-full-time remote employees to increase productivity for the organization and improve communication between staff. Many employees have noticed that it's not the case. Not all departments come in 3 times a week, including managers, and some only work half day while other work full day in the office. Not all the employees come in on anchor days for the department, and that communication has decreased as well. If management is not executing the new change, how will ELT tackle this and solve this matter to ensure that management are following the new protocol and not having favoritism within the departments?
Okay, I can take that question. Thank you for the question. But before I answer the question, I just want to revisit a concept that we've talked about many times, which is circle of influence. And the reason why I want to revisit that is because we know that if we focus on our circle of concern, we start to create stories, right? Which actually create distractions from what's important. And really what's important is how do we create value for our members? Obviously, when we rolled out this initiative at the beginning of the year, which we communicated way in advance in 2023, the intention was that everyone that's not fully remote would be adhering to the 3 times per week requirement. We know that not everything goes as perfect as we would like. Not everything is as smooth as we would like because we're not perfect. But what we do ask is for improvement, not perfection. And we also have a cultural tenet, right, which is teach people the correct principles and let them govern themselves. But based on this question, it gives me, I'm also reflecting and saying, okay, what can we do better? Which is now it's a good time to start implementing some external validation factors. And really what that means is, right now we have a tool. Everybody fobs in when they come in the day, right? So facilities has a way to pull a roster, which actually ELT gets every morning. Of course, we see it, but we don't go through it with a fine-tooth comb, right? We just check to see, okay, what are the levels? How many people are coming in? Is there consistency? Is there a pattern? But obviously, when it comes down to each department, what I notice is that what's missing is that the leaders aren't seeing this tool. So what I'm going to ask is that my team, facilities, will now include the leaders to get this tool so that they can also compare against their rosters so that we can ensure that there's adherence. And then also what we're going to do is that we will implement spot checks. And if we see that there's patterns, then we'll engage those leaders so that we can talk about how do we address these opportunities. Again, the goal is not to catch people, right? I don't want to catch people. I don't want to babysit people because we're all adults. The goal is to create an environment where we can maximize the opportunity to create value for our members and maximize the opportunities to create engagement across the organization. And obviously, in order to do that, it takes all of us working together, marching towards the same purpose of improving our members' lives.
Okay, next question. It was great that ELT decided to open a second branch. Taking into consideration that the branch is very close by the corporate office and the lobby traffic is very low, has ELT considered closing the El Segundo branch location and bringing back the staff to HQ office, saving the credit union the additional expense?
And I can take that question too. Obviously, we've looked at many opportunities to increase our member service for our membership. Leveraging the El Segundo branch was one of those opportunities. We know that it hasn't been as busy as we would hope, but it's still creating membership. Given that we know that we signed a long-term lease and we've also invested, we've made improvements to that branch. For those reasons, there's no immediate cost savings from a branch or personnel perspective. So we're going to continue to leverage that branch because we've already spent the money, right? And we're going to continue to spend that money because that is an investment that we've made. We're going to continue to leverage that branch to increase our visibility and increase engagement with our South Bay membership.
Next question. In our website, in the section about us under ELT, the pictures of bios for each ELT has been removed. Would you please explain the reason for that?
I didn't like my picture. No, it's I apologize to Ray. That was my fault, actually. I made, you can log into WordPress and make changes and things. Unfortunately, a long convoluted technical issue with inline style sheets and WordPress's WYSIWYG editor's inability to consume those. If you want to take that offline, Reed probably knows what I'm saying. But anyways, there was a technical issue. And I apologize to Ray. He fixed it quickly. So thank you for bringing that. If any of you see any anomalies on the website ever, please, even if you think maybe it's intentional, please reach out. We can dialogue about it.
Awesome. Last question. With the changes that Sky One Federal Credit has been through, Elon, participant loans, decrease in staff, Texas location, many employees strongly feel that we are preparing the credit union for a merge. Would you please elaborate on that?
Sure, I'll take that one. There will not be any WordPress or WYSIWYG components to my answer, though. So sorry. Preparing for merge, yes, all the time. Absolutely, we want to be prepared for a merger. We will merge in a credit union if that's any time it makes sense for us and our membership. We want to be prepared for that. I know that's not the real question. The real question behind this, is are we preparing for merger specifically? And no, that's not our primary strategy. But we will always look at that as a target of opportunity where we can be the acquiring credit union, where we are the surviving entity. That said, the moves and the things listed there are all to help make us better, and all in an effort to put us in position to be who we want to be and go where we want to go as an organization. I think there are many financial and strategic benefits in really everything that is lined in this question. I know Scott's going to share some additional color around it. But everything that we talk about when we have our long meetings and everything that we try to put in place from an initiatives perspective is all about how can we better serve our members, how can we make things easier, how can we be financially stable for our membership and for everyone on this call and in that room, right? So we're not going into any decision thinking merger or anything like that specifically. It's how can we be better and be positioned for those opportunities when they present themselves. If it's merging in another credit union, that's great. If it's being able to expand into new markets, that's great. But we need to be financially stable and strong and poised fundamentally to do that. So a lot of the decisions you see listed here are to allow us to continue to move in that direction and be stronger organizations. Scott, I know you probably have some additional comments to that.
Yeah, not much. To your point, to Donnie's point, we have our path going forward, and we're going to go it alone. And if other credit unions want to join us, they can hop on the back, and we'll take them with us, right? But to answer the question is yes, but only as the acquirer.
Thank you so much. No, that's it. Yeah.
Is there any other questions that you might have now since we answered the initial batch? Kathy? Scott, the question was for the cannabis business. What was the question, Kathy? So the question from Kathy is that deposits coming from cannabis banking, will they be part of our organizational assets?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, that's a good question. Hold on. Vitaly has a question here. Hold on. See if that's working. Mm-hmm.
Is it? Oh, can you hear me? So, as many of us may have noticed, some people may have not, but I certainly have an increase in productivity, engagement, and collaboration since we, returned to the office. And as Myra mentioned, although it wasn't as smooth as we intended, I wonder what other strategies ELT and SLC are considering to continue that. positive momentum.
That's a great question, Vitaly. And so for that, it's really a question to all of the leaders, right? What are we going to do? And I really encourage each of us to reflect on that. And after this BFF meeting, as we have our huddles, I encourage you to talk about that with your teams as far as what can we do as an organization? What can we do as departments to create engagement? Is it reaching out to our partners, to our other areas and saying, hey, can we schedule or coordinate an anchor day where we can actually collaborate with each other? That's an opportunity for us, right? Other things is thinking about how else can we contribute outside of our areas. I know that development is an opportunity for all of us, and a lot of people are thinking about, okay, what's the next step for me? Thinking about how else can I, step outside of my comfort zone, possibly shadow other areas. Those are conversations and those are things that have happened. I know James is an example of that. So again, we're interested in what you want to do. Please talk to your leaders, talk to us, and we're happy to brainstorm with you.
Any other questions? Online?
Patty, I have one before we move forward, if we have time for that.
Go ahead.
It's real brief, and it's really a question back to all of us as an organization. So as I read through the questions, hear the questions today, think about the questions that I tend to get. They're very outwardly focused. What will ELT do? What can SLC do? What will Vitaly do? I would encourage each of us today to ask, what can I do? What can I do today to impact all the things in these questions and impact our members' lives in a positive fashion? So let's all ask ourselves as we leave this, what can I do? Not what can someone else do? What can a different group do? What can I do today to impact that? Because that's where our control is. To Myra's point, the other things are typically outside of our circle of control. What you can do, what I can do is within all our control. So just remember that.
Thank you, Donnie. Now I'm going to have Scott, because he's going to do a financial and economic update.
All right, I'll make this pretty brief. We ended the month with net loss of 1.3 million. That takes our net loss for year to date to 2.1 million. The good thing is that we have a path to profitability for the next 8 months of the year, and so part of that involves more loans, right? Getting more loans on the books. The other half of that is becoming more efficient, right? And then looking at non-interest income opportunities there. When we look at the overall economy, still, I think inflation numbers came out this morning, and inflation's still high, right? So rates are going to be higher longer, and we've been saying that for, I don't know, feels like 2 years now, right? And so so the economy is not doing us any favors, but that doesn't mean that we can't continue to be successful, right? And find ways to be profitable. And so, a lot of uncertainty still out there, but we got to find a way to overcome that. And I think some of the things that we're doing now, a few of the partnerships that we're looking at, are going to get us there. And so, I know it's not rainbows and unicorns, every month. I think if you look at our overall success in the last few years, it's tough, right? Because we've had so much success, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's going on, right? And so there's a lot of questions, but progress isn't perfect, right? We're going to have ups and downs, and this just happens to be one of those times where we're a little down, right? But that doesn't mean that it's over. We got 8 months left, and we do have things that are happening that will get us back into kind of that upward trend. So that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Scott. And I'm going to hand it over to Shannon with the marketing update.
Scott thought you guys might be interested in the marketing update. Is it on? So I obliged. And I want to start the update with reminding all of us about our business model. Sorry about the delay. Scott, if you had a quick joke. Okay, so here's the business model. If you remember, Scott presented this a little earlier this year about what we're going to be focusing on. This is generally, 1 to 3 year type of plan. It's not long term. But right now, what we're really focused on, as you know, is core deposits and operational excellence. That's why those bubbles are bigger in the infographic. And you can see our core competencies being memberships, core deposits, operational excellence, with the subtext below being the geographic focus on DFW and South Bay. So leveraging all of this, we are really trying to implement that into our whole marketing strategy. So for our focus, we are in 2024, we're focused on creating sustainable, predictable, organic growth. We want to create programs. We tend to be very campaign driven. Let's do a campaign for this and a campaign for that. It's very costly. A lot of that business runs off as soon as the incentive is over, and it's just a vicious cycle. What we're trying to do is break that cycle by getting into some more predictable growth. So once we find things that are working, understand them more, and then scale them knowingly, right? So that's part of what we're doing. And we're doing that in core deposits and membership. We've even structured the team in a way where we've narrowed their focus in each of those areas. Operational excellence, everybody's focused on efficiency and all these things. We're doing the same things, but some areas we're also focused on our innovation and AI, of course, and that will be something that we'll all be focused on soon. And then really on that targeted growth, you'll notice that a lot of our stuff, our campaigns and our outward reach is in these two specific areas. We're not like Chase. I can't have an envelope on your desk or on your front porch every day, asking for $750, a benefit and things like that. So we have to be more concise and targeted. So these are going to be the two areas. What are we doing? So a couple things we're doing to address this right now we are diving deeper into the business world. And so we did create our high yield business savings account. It's had a slow start, but it is a very competitive product. And we should see some more momentum on that as our business accounts continue to grow. And then we're leveraging our True Treasury services, of course, for cannabis. And we have that platform now, so we'll leverage it in other ways as those come up. And then on the consumer side, we're working on a 4% version of our Advantage checking, which is a very high yield checking, which should be very competitive. Launching that specifically in the DFW market right now. So we're really trying to do some targeted things. And then we have some really exciting new product announcements that will be coming up in the coming months. But this is the big one. So Greenwell Financial, I've been really impressed by the camaraderie and the action resulted team that is getting this across the finish line. We thought this was going to be well into June before we launched, and we are already ready to launch probably by the end of this month. So kudos to this team. There's a lot of them, and I'm not going to try to name them because I'm going to forget one and then I'll look stupid, and I'm not going to do that. But I know you know who you are. And we'll celebrate this bigger once we see the results. But we are launching at the end of May. As you know, this will drive some pretty large core deposits and fee revenue. And what's really, really cool, I thought, outside of this outstanding logo and the outstanding name, give it up to Michelle Greenwell for the inspiration on our name. So, but when we let the NCOA, we told the NCOA we're going to do this. We want very transparent about this because we know there's like some shadiness out there about banking and stuff like that. And we wanted to get over that. They quickly contacted us back and said, how can we help you? So we had a meeting with them. They're offering their support for us. We are highly aligned. And I think that's really a great start for this venture for us. It's a pilot that we hope to scale if it goes well. And so when we talk about operational excellence, we're we're really looking at, we think that partnerships is going to be a strong way for us to get there. So working with Sean out there in Texas and the business development team to drive growth there. We're really leveraging innovation to drive value creation, cannabis. We're working with Reed on a project right now that we're spinning up a QSO that we're going to start being able to do B2B type services for other credit unions, starting with a machine learning program that Reed actually created. So this is the kind of stuff where we talk about driving at 60 miles an hour and then changing the tire. This is some of the changing the tire kind of stuff that's going on. And then ultimately, my challenge to my team is I want to have AI integrated across the whole marketing spectrum soon, quick. So. We all took an innovation benchmark. I know you've been dying to know how we did. This is how we did. Benchmark for innovation mindset was developing. We scored much higher on the creativity side. So what this says is we're all pretty creative thinkers. We're not really that proficient at applying it yet. But as we progress, this will be the benchmark that we look at to go further. You can log in to your Precipio and you can see your individual score. I know you're all dying to know. You can retake them, yeah. And what's cool about it is after you take it, it starts based on how you did. It gives you alternative things to help you increase your score. And it's all personalized. So what I'm getting is different than what you're getting. So I highly suggest you log in and check that out. So. And so targeted growth, we are really focused on driving DFW membership. You can see we've started to do that. We have a ways to go. And then we're really focused on continued growth in the South Bay. I know that question came up about, did we just give up on the South Bay and some legacy segs? I can tell you that we're doing things a little bit differently. What we found is that sponsoring some of our key partners really works, but having a bunch of people sitting at a booth at that event is just very costly because they're giving out stuff and we're not really getting much out of that. So we're going to continue to sponsor key partners at key events, but we're going to have less people standing at a booth right there and leverage that opportunity in different ways. So just letting you know, we're just trying to do things a little bit differently and obviously really focus on our 3 personas. But as a testament to the relationships that we have in the South Bay, we just found out we were awarded this South Bay's Best. This is from the Daily Breeze and the Beach Reporter. This is on top of our LA Times award last year. What I love about this, though, is this all happened between February and March was the voting. So it's very recent. And you know that we're going against some big competitors up and down the street here that have a bigger footprint and more money than us, right? But the voters, they reached out because you know why? Because they see us out there. They know that we're at all these events. They see our brand at all these different places. So this is a testament to that. This is not, it's not like we're advertising in these places all the time. We didn't buy this award. This was truly based on our brand awareness. So congratulations to the team for achieving this award. And that is my marketing update.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm going to have Katya come up because she's going to announce a development job transfer.
It's me again. Where's Brian? Oh, he might not be in right now, but I do want to announce that as you guys, you all know Brian. Brian has been our business development officer for a while. As part of what we're doing differently, we realized there was a need to provide support to our business members and our SAG partners. So we transitioned Brian to the ops department. He's working now under Melissa and Randy, and his role now is to provide full support for all the business accounts and our legacy SAGs. So congratulate Brian. When you see him, you'll see him a lot more here in the building. He's working in the ops center right now.
Thank you, Kathy. Congratulations, Brian. Now I'm going to bring up Myra. She's going to give us an employee financial benefit update.
All right. Really excited to share this. So hold on.
All right, team. So we know that we have our membership goal, we have deposit goal, we have loan goals, right? And guess what? We can each contribute to that, right? Directly impact that success. How can we do that? You know, we believe that obviously being a Sky One member and joining to be a Sky One, being an employee and then joining to become a Sky One member, we believe in value creation, right? So we want to make sure that we're also doing what we can to improve your lives. So again, who's the most valuable member? Yes. Yes. You are. So for that reason, you know, if you remember, if you recall, actually, we recently also extended the benefits, right? This financial benefits program, which I will be talking about right now, just to refresh, and then also to provide enhancements that we've made. We've extended it to immediate family members, which is pretty cool. There's not a lot of organizations that will do that. That will say, hey, just because you're an employee, your immediate family members also get to partake in these benefits. So again, as a reminder, it's your spouse and your children up to the age 26. They also get to enjoy this benefit. So as a refresher, so this slide hasn't changed. To become a Sky One member, obviously we each have to put in $5. The beauty is that we will fund that account for you because we want you to be a Sky One member. But before I continue, why is it important to be a Sky One member and to go through the process of opening up your membership?
So you could have the experience yourself and then relay that with the member.
So it's to experience, the member experience, right? And then of course, as you go through the process and you're interacting with our members, you can speak to it. And then also, on top of that, we want to hear your feedback. So if you feel that there's friction, or if you feel like, hey, we can improve something, please let us know. Obviously, we're not going to improve everything overnight, but we want to know, so because we have blind spots. You know, again, like I said, we're not perfect, but we need your help. As far as advantage checking, you can earn dividends on any balance, and the minimum opening deposit and monthly fee is waived during your employment. So again, as long as you're an employee, and also your family members will benefit of this, is that they don't get charged that monthly fee. Early deposit. I know Chime advertises this, right? We did this before Chime did. So if you have a Sky One deposit, you get your payroll a day early. Debit card ATM withdrawals, up to 4 ATM surcharges are waived. But just keep in mind, I'm taking this away because I'm not really happy with that. I'm going to see if there's a way if we can waive all ATM fees. Okay, so more to come on that. I know that there's some programming, so Michael's looking at me. And then for CDs, right? We have a lot of CD promos. The good thing is that if you're a Sky One member and if you meet all of the criteria, which I will go through in the next slide or the next few slides, then you also get to take advantage of 0.50% increase on that rate. And that's also on top of that promotional rate. So again, keep that in mind. And it's for you and your immediate family members. So this one is new. We all have heard that we're transitioning to Elon credit cards, right? That's not a surprise. We know that's happening. So what are we going to offer? I know that there is the top of the line card, the Reserves Reward Plus card, that there is an annual fee of $390, but there's a lot of benefits that come with it. So what we've decided to do, because we want to encourage use, right? If you are interested in this card, because we know not everybody wants that, or not everybody wants to, maybe there's other cards because they have so many different cards, right? If you are interested in this and you qualify for this card, assuming again that you meet all of the requirements, we will waive that annual fee of $390. But keep in mind, the credit card interest rate is set by Elon. It's not set by us, okay? We want to be very transparent around that. I know there's a question possibly lingering, right? Like, what's going to happen to my 7% interest rate credit card? So that is going to go away as of August 1st. So the last day that you can swipe and still protect that balance for that 7% is at the end of July, because effective August 1st, will fully transition to the Elan card. So a couple things that you can do, because we were thinking about this too, and we're like, okay, what can we offer our employees? So we have a line of credit opportunity, right? So if you are interested, because again, you have to opt in, we will not require you to complete a new application, but we will require you to complete a consent form to request this credit line. So your current credit limit for your credit card balance, we will open a line of credit for that balance amount, lock it in at 7%, and give you the opportunity to transfer your balances into that 7% card or line of credit. And then keep in mind again that any purchases made after August 1st, then the new credit card rate will apply. And again, it's set by Elan. And then also keep in mind that your family members will also have to complete a consent form for this. It won't be automatically. You have to initiate it. And also, if you already have a line of credit and a credit card, then the line of credit will be adjusted to reflect the higher of the two. And again, locked in at that 7% rate. So consumer lending, here's what I'm excited. So
Myra, can I just add a point on the credit cards before we move to that next slide? So as a reminder, everything Myra said completely accurate and awesome, I think. So some good options. As a reminder, any balances that you have through that July 31st cutoff that Myra mentioned, that 7% is protected going forward. So it will be new purchases. So really, as you think about the multiple options, there's the existing balance that can stay at 7% on that card. There's the new line of credit. There's both. There's moving money from new purchases over to the line of credit. So our intent is to really give you a lot of options here. So if anyone has specific questions or they have a scenario of their own that they're wondering maybe what's the best solution, please reach out to me. I'm happy to talk through that with you, or obviously any other member of the executive team as well. Happy to talk to you through the options to make sure you understand those. So thank you.
Thank you, Donnie. That's great clarification. So let's move on to the next one. So this is where I'm really excited. So lending. So auto loan, the previous benefit was you would be eligible for a 1% discount from your qualified rate. Obviously, have you seen interest rates? So we are going to offer 4.99 fixed on any term for auto loans, assuming you qualify, okay? And again, that's for you and your immediate family members. So that's amazing. Signature loan, this one hasn't changed. We still offer the 7% fixed interest rate. Let's see. Line of credit, this is still something that we offered, so there really isn't a change there. The only caveat is the changes that we made to accommodate the losing of the 7% credit card. Let's see. Financial relief, this one isn't new. It's also a 5% fixed on specific situations. So they are listed there. It's for home repairs, car repairs, taxes, so unexpected expenses, 5% loans. First mortgage, this one also changed. So it used to be Sky One will waive 1% loan origination point charge at origination. Now it's going to say Sky One will waive the entire loan origination fee. Okay. Second mortgage, it used to say 4.99 fixed and fees waived only up to $300. Keep in mind, fees can be costly. Now it's going to say 4.99 fixed and we waive all fees. Home equity line of credit, it used to be 1%, prime rate minus 1%, and again, waiving only fees up to $300. Now it is prime minus 1, and again, we waive all fees. Cashier's check, you only used to get 2 free cashier's checks per year. Now it's just free. Notary services also used to have limitations. Now it's just free. Do you like free? Okay, free it is. Wires used to get 1 free wire per year. Now it's just free. All right. All right. So, so the trust services, I'll get to this one because obviously you see a new one there, right? But so the trust services, that one doesn't change. It is what it is, right? The affinity trust, you get $100 discount price, and then trust and will, 15% off discount rate off of any estate plan. That's the same. And wealth management, it's again the same complementary financial planning. So the one that's new is the gym membership. So we want to make sure that we're also taking care of your entire well-being, right? And some of you like to work out and different type of activities, which is great, right? So gym membership will reimburse your Planet Fitness Black Card membership fee of $25 per month, but you must charge it to your SkyOne account. And then we'll reimburse your SkyOne account, the $25 per month.
Hey, Myra, can I add to this? I see people clapping. I see that it says employees only. I just want to clarify why. I have the Black Card, even though Myra's told me I'm not eligible for this reimbursement. So as a Black Card member, you can actually take a guest all the time for free. So you really don't need, additional memberships beside that Black Card. So you can take others with you as a part of that. And the reason Planet Fitness is there's 2,500 plus locations, so it's applicable to really wherever you are and wherever you live. So wanted to make sure it was, available to everyone as we thought through this. So.
Thank you, Donnie. And I see some smiling faces, which is great. So let's get to the next slide, Kelly. No, we already covered that. All right, so very, very important program eligibility requirements. Hopefully everybody knows this already, right? I don't want to ask how many of you are SkyOne members. All right, that's awesome, but it's not all of the hands. So hopefully with these new enhancements, I will see more hands. But here's the criteria. So everything that we said, you have to unlock those benefits. You don't automatically get them. So I will tell you the secret way to unlock them. Okay, not a secret. So you must be a full-time active SkyOne employee. So you must be active, right? You have to be an active employee. And then if you're active, then your immediate family, such as your spouse and children, will also be eligible. But you also have to meet an aggregate direct deposit minimum of $1,000 per month going into your SkyOne account, or of course, if it's a child, we'll waive that fee if they're under 26, because obviously maybe they're not working, right? They're in school, so we are cognizant of that, so we'll waive that. In addition to having direct deposit, you must be enrolled in AutoPay to qualify for the loan discounts. So any questions? So how many more are now excited to become SkyOne members? Yes. So why is this important? Again, I want to reemphasize, it's really important because at the end of the day, in order for us to improve our members' lives, we also have to understand how we can do that. And the best way we can do that is by actually using our products and services so that we understand the value and the benefits so that we can then communicate that to our members in a way that's obviously they feel confident, they feel like we obviously have their best interest, and it makes it easier for them to say yes when you're interacting with them. So just wanted to also share the current promotion just so that you could compare it against your financial benefit. So as you know, I know that you've all seen that What's the Story that's come out, right? On the HELOC and home equity line promo. So you get up to $1,000 waived on closing costs of origination fees when you qualify and activate a HELOC or home equity loan with SkyOne with a minimum withdrawal of $10,000 made at closing upon approval. But again, closing costs can be expensive. So again, that's the promo that we have for everybody else. The difference is because you're a SkyOne employee, and if you're a SkyOne member and you also have your direct deposit with us, then you get prime -1 and we waive all the fees. So again, just to show you that it's on top of what we already offer, we want to make sure that we really can improve your lives. All right, any questions?
So for the credit card, beginning August 1st, are we still gonna be able to swipe the one we have, or we're gonna get new ones?
So after August 1st, yeah, you won't. So you can only swipe until the end of July.
Okay.
But obviously you can, at any time, actually, you can already apply for an Elon card because it's going to be set at their rate anyways.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And you should be getting new plastic for existing cards. Your new Elon card should come, Randy, correct me if I'm off on this, I want to say around mid-July. So they'll give you some overlap time.
Thank you.
Any other question on the benefits? Yes.
Will you be sending the information?
Very quick. Yes, I'm actually going to send a what's the story when I get back to my desk, because I already have it written up to send it. And the employee financial benefits page has already been updated. So if you go to the HR page, click on additional benefits, it's already been updated. Oh, great question. There's an ITSR coming and your team's going to help us.
What was the question?
The right person asked the right question.
So Paul wants to know how you get reimbursed for the membership.
Oh yeah. So Paul asked, how will we get reimbursed? And that's why it's going to be crucial that you charge it to a Sky One account. That way we can run the report, that we can set it, program it, so that we can obviously reimburse you, making it easy all the way around. Right. Sky One account. Correct. Thank you.
Oh, good like follow up, Felicia. I'm on their website now because I'm so excited. Already taking advantage of our credit cards, checking savings here. But do you waive the $49 fee too to set up?
Which one?
They say it's $49 one-time fee to set up the Black membership.
Oh,
account.
I will take that back. I'm pretty sure we can do that.
And maybe they'll provide a promo code to us, since like maybe we partner with one of the local.
Johnny, did you hear that?
I did hear that. So I know a lot of the times, and I think right now they have a $1 special going where it's the $1 membership, initiation, I think is what they call it, or setup. I'll tell you this, if that's the barrier to, whether or not you want to take advantage of this benefit, you let someone know, we'll make sure that happens. If I have to, make it happen myself, I just need Shannon's account number and we will make sure. No, I'm just kidding. Don't let that be the barrier. If that is the barrier, let us know, because honestly, this is an important benefit for us to make sure we're offering to everyone. As Myra mentioned, it's the whole person, and part of that's your health, and we want you to have access to it. It's important. I appreciate the question on the process. So I think I need to give just a little bit of maybe background. And Myra will probably be embarrassed by this, but I'm going to do it anyway. As we were talking through this, I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday last week, Myra said, this is not enough, right? So some of these changes literally were born like Thursday. And the gym membership is one of them. So some of the logistics we still need to work out, but I just want everyone to understand, what's in our mind as we think about what we're trying to offer. And it's, what's to your benefit, what's to your family's benefit. And sometimes we say, hey, this makes sense. It helps people. Let's do it. And we'll figure out how to do it after the fact. So hadn't thought about the $49 question, but I promise you that won't be a barrier for us. We'll figure it out.
Thank you, Michelle.
I can refer you, Michelle. You will get $1.
And look at that. It's 9:57. Woo! So one last question? Yeah. I believe it is, right, Donnie? So basically, Myra asked the question.
I not hear the question.
Okay, so the question is, if we opt into that line of credit so that we can transfer our balances to the 7%, will that be will the credit card be considered a closed inquiry on the credit report?
Not unless you choose to do that. So we don't have any intention of just closing it automatically. If you want to have it closed, we can certainly do that. You can close that card if you want to, but you're not required to as a part of that process. So our intent was not to have anyone have less availability. So no, you don't have to.
So Donnie, on the consent form, maybe can we add the option just so that the employee can specify what they want to do?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, one more question.
Are you guys taking into consideration the unsecured limits? Like if your credit card is 25,000 or 30,000, are you going to give a line of credit for 30,000? Because that'll put you over our $50,000 limit.
Donnie, can you take that one?
We will take those, I think, super rare cases where there are those huge limits like that. We'll take those on a case by case scenario and talk through with the individual and understand what best meets their needs. I don't think in what we've seen so far, we're going to have a lot of scenarios where that really comes into account, where somebody's going to want those two large amount open lines as we go through it. But certainly, if that's the case, we will talk to you about what best meets your needs.
Thank you for the question, and thank you for the answer, Donnie.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Well, again, it was really great to see your smiling faces. Please make it a great day.
Thank you, everyone.